Hello, long time no recording. It is me back with my final, I guess, discussion on DELTORA Quest because this is the last book, and I had a bit of a break because I had to read a bunch of other exciting books that came out in the meantime, and I really wanted to get on top of it. But now we're back, and we have finished DELTORA Quest 3. How exciting! So this book is The Sister of the South, and it was published in 2005. And this is the final book in the DELTORA Quest 3 series, which is the DELTORA Quest series that focuses on the dragons of DELTORA. And yeah, so I've got a bit of a summary that I kind of snagged from Wikipedia because I couldn't be bothered summarizing it myself. So a little bit about this book. After destroying the Sister of the West, Leaf, Barter, and Jasmine return to Del, the southernmost point in Deltora, to find the Sister of the South. They find that someone is poisoning people at the palace, and a bizarre beast attacks them several times. After Joseph dies from poison, they discover that an addition to the palace chapel was forcibly added by the chief advisors, and that this is where the sister is. Nevitz kills the mysterious beast just as the topaz dragon arrives to destroy the sister. It is discovered that Paf, Joseph's new assistant, was the guardian and was poisoning the people and projecting the beast similarly to Kristen's spectre. She kills herself out of grief. Just as it seems the quest is finished, it turns out that Joseph had deduced a terrible secret. The Shadow Lord had a contingency plan. The sister's magic, poisoning the land, was also imprisoning a far worse threat, a creature called the Grey Death, a flood of grey liquid that kills everything it touches. Imprisoned at Hira, aka the City of the Rats, in the centre of the land, now it is rising to destroy everything. However, the Shadow Lord did not count on the dragons working together. With the opal dragon, Hopian, now awakened, the seven dragons kill four of the seven Akbaba and destroy the Grey Death with their fire. In the end, Leaf marries Jasmine, Barter is set to marry Lyndall, and everyone lives happily ever after, although evil continues to lurk somewhere in the shadows. Wow. Okay. There's a lot that happens. That summary does not really do the book justice, to be honest, because it skipped so much from the beginning. And personally, in my opinion, it skipped the most interesting kind of stuff in the book. So what I found really interesting was, surprise, surprise, the dystopian elements of the book, particularly the plague. So imagine my surprise when I opened this book, started reading it the other night, and realized that it was all about a sickness that had taken over Deltora, which was, a little on the nose for the COVID situation we've got going on right now. Not only that, but this sickness, I mean, let's go with what the original assumptions were in the book, but, they believed it could be spread really fast. It was spread from another country or town or city, whatever you call it. It's people were wearing masks to make sure that they couldn't get sick, and people dying really fast. There was other stuff that was very not COVID, so I think they got like red sores or something all over their face. So it was believed that this was a plague. It turns out it was actually poison, but anyway. Also, interesting dystopia aspect, and again, COVID. I mean, I'm going to be drawing associations with COVID because honestly, what else can I do right now? But there's also these notices that are kind of circulating amongst the general public in Del, and the notices are saying like, oh, you're being lied to, and the plague is like worse than you think, and Tora has been planning this plague for ages, and there's all this stuff going to happen. And I thought that was quite interesting because we obviously see a lot of disinformation, misinformation, whatever you call it, going around with COVID. So I thought, oh, interesting. And not only that, but there's one notice later in the book that actually like provides predictions. So like it's saying, let me just get up. So it's saying like, oh, Marilyn's going to become queen, and she's not going to live in Dell. She's going to be in Tora. She's actually a puppet, and she's already with child. And I was just like, okay, I'm getting really strong QAnon vibes. And yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting, a little on the nose, but super cool. Obviously, this was written in 2005, so it's not actually on the nose because that wasn't happening in 2005. But interesting considering the time we live in. I also found it interesting the similarities that kind of popped up between the current plague situation in Dell and the situation of the rats in the city of the rats, aka NORADs, aka Hira. That was interesting because once Leaf finds out that it's poison, he's like, oh, we have to throw out all the food. We have to create a circle where, only certain food can be let in. We have to do like food testing. And it just reminded me a lot of NORAD's, how they created like huge quantities of food and only let certain amounts of food into the city and threw the rest out. Well, actually, I don't think they threw it out. I think they ended up giving it away to the other city. But anyway, whatever. I just thought the situation was kind of interesting, kind of similar. And also the masks everyone was wearing, or most people were wearing, I think they were red, and the red clothes were a big symbol of NORAD's. Yeah, anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if that was supposed to be deliberate, but I thought it was cool. Yeah, what else do I like? So I like all of the kind of intrigue in this section because you kind of know there's something bad, like there's someone obviously working against them, you don't know who. Unfortunately, it is Path, which kind of frustrated me because once again, good old Emily Rodda has done the thing where it's the meek and mild, bumbling sidekick who is the evil mastermind. We saw that before, obviously, with, I can't remember the guy's name, but the fawn guy, the guy from Capricorn, I want to say. I'm going to say that wrong. It's been a while since I've read the book, clearly. But yeah, so we've seen that before. It's not that surprising to me. I feel like it's a fairly basic twist. I didn't care. And also, the problem for me with these twists is that I don't care about the characters. So, like, Path, I hated her. She's boring. She's annoying. The twist is not that big for me because I'm not invested. Whereas, obviously, with Dane, now, I know I bring Dane up every time, but whatever. With Dane, I cared about him. I was invested in him. I already kind of knew he was evil because I'd read the books, but I was a lot more intrigued and invested in his actual character. So when it's revealed that he's evil, for me, I feel like that gets me, that hits me harder than with Path and, is his name Rolf, I think, the other guy? Anyway, those two, I was like, no, I don't care about either of them anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. And it's not like the twist in, I can't remember which one it was, but the one with the masked ones, that was a really good twist. I liked that a lot when it was revealed that, that it was actually the girl who was controlling the guy in the end when you thought it was the other way around. That was really cool. And I got a little bit mad as well because in the scene when Leaf goes to confront Path, Doom's there. And for like a split second, because I couldn't remember the end of the book, I thought Doom was the one who'd been the whole time tricking them. And I was like losing my mind. I thought, man, if he's the evil one, oh my God, like that would have just destroyed me. But like in a good way, because I was like, oh my God, like I want to go back now and like read, all these things. And it actually took me, maybe because I was so set on this theory, that like I read the whole section and Path like literally revealed that she was evil, and I still kind of thought, oh, is Doom also evil? And then I had to like reread it and I was like, oh no, he's not. Okay. So maybe I kind of worked myself up into that as well, which would have been like a mad twist. And although I was kind of angry, I was like both really excited for it and I was also really angry because I really like Doom, so I was like, please don't make him evil, and he wasn't, so it's fine anyway. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Path's twist. The second twist I'll talk about in a sec because I want to go back. So Joseph dies, which is upsetting, and I feel like there wasn't much focus on it, on the actual death. Like after it was actually really sad because Ranesh goes up and tries to, give Joseph the right burial and funeral rites and all of that kind of stuff, and that was really sad. And to be honest, I feel really bad for Ranesh, this poor man. He went to Tora, didn't like Tora, kind of was stuck there because his wife's Marilyn, and he was really grumpy, and honestly, I think he has depression. And then he comes back to Dell, and his father figure, Joseph, dies. And he doesn't even really get to say goodbye. And then, the scene when Leaf confronts Renesh, because Leaf thinks Renesh is hiding something, and he's like, well, what else did Joseph say? And Renesh doesn't want to say because it's obviously personal. And then he does tell Leaf, and he says, Renesh says, Joseph told me I was like a son to him, and oh my god, it's sad, man. Renesh deserved better, and Joseph deserved better, even though I didn't like Joseph. For Renesh's sake, I'll keep him. I also thought at one point Renesh was going to be the evil one. I mean, the thing is, I knew from literally as soon as Path was introduced in book 1, I was like, I'm pretty sure she's evil. And I don't know if I was just reading the context clues or if I was remembering potentially the end of the book, because obviously I've read them before a long time ago. But I still kind of had a hope that they would maybe not do that, because like I explained, I find it a bit boring. So Renesh as well, I thought, oh my god, what if he's evil? And to be honest, I would have actually been pissed off if Renesh was evil, because I feel the way about Renesh as I feel about Dane. So I was kind of like, oh, please don't do it again to me. Anyway, they didn't. It's okay. Renesh is good. I just feel bad for him. This poor man needs some therapy. I really like Manus in this one. Manus is the Rallad man from book 2, I think. Lake of Tears, yeah. So he has come back a fair bit in the series, which is funny because I don't remember him being such a main character, but obviously he is, and I really just like him. I think he's a good guy. He's really on top of things. He's really brave, and I really like him. He's a sweet dude. So that surprised me. By the end of this book, I was like, yeah, Manus is actually really good, and he's been in all of the series so far, and he's been really good in all the series so far, and yeah, just surprising. I didn't expect it and didn't remember it, so that was nice. The monster that Pathlake creates, see, I didn't even pick up on this until I just read this summary, but I didn't realize Path was like creating this monster. Anyway, that monster, the dog bird thing, I didn't care about it. I think for me, it was scary when they were fighting it, but one really key aspect of DELTORA Quest for me is how well I can imagine the monsters in my head. And generally, she's really good, Emily. She's really good at writing very, graphic, intense descriptions of monsters. And particularly in Series 1, the original, the OG, I really, really love all the descriptions of the monsters. I really feel like they're a super important part of the book. And obviously they are, they feature on the cover. They are kind of like, it's almost like one of the staples of DELTORA Quest. You read it and you get this creepy, crazy monster in the end. And I really feel like she kind of hit her peak in Series 1 with her descriptions of the monsters. And they're so good. I mean, as you know, if you've listened to any of these, I don't know if anyone does, but in Series 1, I kept saying how much the monsters were so vivid to me, and I remember them so well because the descriptions are so good and because they really got me, as a kid, And this creature, I just couldn't really imagine it. The fight was scary in the way that it was tense. So, obviously, oh my gosh, it's pretty evenly matched and it's, really intense, but apart from that, I didn't find the actual creature scary because I didn't have a good picture in my head. Again, this may not be her fault. This could be my fault in my imagination. Maybe I just, for some reason, can't imagine it. But this is my instinct. This is kind of my opinion, that some of them have been better described before. This one didn't creep me out in the way that other monsters have creeped me out. Not like... God, man, I'm going to forget. I can't remember any names. It's been way too long. But the toad. I mean, actually, everything in Series 1 I'm thinking about. All of them were good. There were some better than others, but all of them are very vivid in my mind. So yeah, didn't care about that monster, but I did think the Grey Death was interesting. I thought that was quite scary. It was really fast moving. It was very violently, poisonous. It was creepy. but it wasn't a creature, so I guess in that way it didn't scare me. The Akbaba had been scary the whole time, so the Akbaba, when they appeared, is like, yeah, I hate them in a good way. Yeah, so the end, I guess the end monster, which would be the Grey Death and the Akbaba, were pretty good, because I thought they were quite creepy. Speaking of that, I really liked the second twist in the book. So the first twist was Path, and I didn't care about it. The second twist, well, actually, there's a few twists, but the second twist was that once they defeated the sister, there was the contingency plan, which was really cool. So like, everyone's celebrating, and Leaf's like, no, this is not right. There's something still going on. He's like trying to tell himself, no, we're safe now, we're good now. And I just thought that was a really interesting, this poor boy. I mean, everyone in this series has been traumatized. Let's be real. This poor boy is trying to be like, no, like there's no threat. Like calm down. I don't have to like freak out. And then, well, he does, because he finds out that no, that's not it. There's a contingency plan, and it's going to destroy the whole world. So he has to go do that. One difficult thing about this last section of the book is that it's very short. So I'm pretty sure from the time that Leaf realizes that there's another contingency plan to the time that the book ends, it's literally like, no joke, I think about 5 to 10 pages long. Like that whole section is the big battle. So at first, and I looked at it, like when I was reading, I thought, man, how are we going to do this in 10 pages? But you know what? Emily works her magic. And honestly, she did it. I didn't mind it. The 10 pages were apparently enough for her to write an entire end to this book. The dragons coming in and stopping it and working together as a team, it's like a bit cheesy, but I actually liked it. I thought it was good. It felt powerful. It felt good. It felt like, I guess it was uniting the land, which is exactly what, the feeling that they're going for. So I thought that was really good. Love a good dragon teamwork. So I thought that was nice. And then we get the ultimate end to the book. So we get, I'm just going to flick to the pages now, but we get Leaf marrying Jasmine. Jasmine's dress sounds beautiful, to be honest. Green silk dress, thread of flowers in her hair. Beautiful. Love it. And then we get my fave, Lyndall, marrying Barda, which is beautiful. Well, we don't really get that. We get that implied is going to happen. And then, oh my god, okay, I've skipped something that I thought was really cool. Okay, we're going to reverse for a moment. Rewind. So the sister, once they reveal the sister and the weird beast thing comes out, Stephen appears with Nevitt. So Stephen and Nevitt are the kind of like Jekyll and Hyde characters in Deltora Quest, who I find really interesting. I didn't care about them, I think, when I was a kid, but rereading it, I'm like, whoa, these are cool. And you actually get to see kind of Nevitt properly. And there's a scene, so Nevitt kills the creature, and then at the end, he's so enraged that he just turns to like attack everyone else. So he turns to attack Leaf and that. And then Stephen's trying to stop him. And he says, I'm injured. And Nevitz goes over to him. And there's like I don't have the line on me, but it's something like, Nevitz cradles him like really tenderly and like makes sure he's okay. And that's, I don't know, I just thought that was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, Nevitz and Stephen are very, very interesting characters. Very cool. I really like them. And that's really interesting. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, okay, I can stop my rewind. So yeah, so Lyndall marries Barda, which we knew was going to happen. I know, I guessed it. Classic kids book endings, and by classic kids book endings I mean Harry Potter. Deltora Quest also ends in the way that everyone names their kids after all the people that have died and all the people that they care about. Though this was super cute. So, oh geez, I just realized Barda and Little had 6 children. Oh my lord. Okay, so Leaf and Jasmine have a daughter, Anna, and twin boys, Jared and Endon, which is so cute. And then it says, okay, oh my god, okay. And sometimes Doom, home from one of his many journeys and silently watching the twins at play, would remember 2 other boys running through the palace gardens long ago, and he would smile. Oh my lord, my heart, that's the cutest thing. Doom, I love Doom, and I love Jared and Endon. It just makes me so sad and happy. Also, yeah, Doom like goes on all these trips for himself and kind of goes on explores, and I love that. And actually, another good Doom thing, I'm going to rewind again because I keep remembering things that I wanted to talk about. I didn't write very good notes for this, you can tell. So Doom, there's a part where they're talking about like who they think is evil or was poisoning or something, and then Jasmine was like, "Oh, I didn't trust you," to Doom, and and Doom is because they were like, "Oh, the person needed to be someone who's like really clever and really sly and really good at the job and all this," and Jasmine's like, "Well, I thought of you, Doom, because like you're all those things," and then Doom's like, "Oh, thanks," as in like he's legitimately pleased that she thought so highly of him. And then he's like, "Yeah, I would have done the same in your situation." She's like, "Yeah." And then everyone's like, "You guys are the weirdest," because she's his daughter. I don't know. I love them. I think they're a very cute little family, very strange family. I would have loved actually to have Doom reconnect with Jasmine. I don't think they really have that in the end section as much, because yeah, like I said, Doom kind of goes off and wanders the world. I would have loved to have Doom and Jasmine reconnect because I didn't have any time to connect when Jasmine was younger. And Doom's such a little grumpy old man. I just love him. I love this like forced dad, grumpy dad dynamic. And I would have loved for more of that with Doom and Jasmine to actually play out. And we got a bit of it, and listen, it was good. Don't get me wrong, but I would like more. And Marilyn becomes the librarian. Nobody cares. I don't even know who Zeri. I think Zeri was in this book a lot, which is wild because does anyone care about Zeri? Anyway, Renesh. Does Renesh even do anything? It just says Renesh has more than enough to do. Cool. So poor Renesh, sidelined again. Anyway, we love Renesh. Yeah. So that was pretty much it for this book. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't like it as much as some of the other ones from DELTORA 3. But what I did like was, obviously, like I said, I really liked the dystopian elements. I really liked the kind of, people dissenting. I loved the plague stuff. I loved the kind of hidden identity, mysterious murderer concept, even if I didn't really like the end of that. I really liked the concept of it. The poison stuff, yeah, all of that was really, really cool to me, and that was for most of the books, so that was good. I think I liked this series, the Dragon series, better than the Piran Pipe series overall. Actually, for sure, I like this series better because this series really got me in the second, third, and fourth book with concepts that were so up my alley. In fact, I actually honestly like some of, potentially, and not this book, but I think the second and the third one as much, if not more, than some of the ones from DELTORA 1. And I love the books in DELTORA 1. So what I'm thinking is, this is the last book, obviously, but I'm going to do one more recording. And my last recording, I'm going to kind of talk about my overall thoughts of DELTORA Quest, my favourite things that happened in it, my favourite things about it, my favourite books. I might even rank them because I'm a little nerd who loves lists. And I also have one more DELTORA book, which is not going to be fun for anyone else except me. But I do also own the ultimate DELTORA quiz book. So I'm not going to do all of it because it's legit the same size as some actual DELTORA books. But I will potentially flick through that, test my knowledge, which is going to be atrocious. I'll tell you that much already. And see how I go and talk about, my overall thoughts of the series, because I do have a lot of thoughts about it. I know I've already made a million recordings of myself talking about it, but I kind of want to think about it all together and overall. So look forward to that, I guess. So that'll be my last one. I don't think I have time to watch the anime. Maybe one day I'll come back to it. There's just so many episodes. As much as I want to see Dane, they're just too many for me. Maybe I'll slowly make my way through. I don't know. Anyway, one more recording, and it will be my final thoughts. But for this book, really liked it. I probably would still rank it 3 out of 4 of this series. Because I really liked the second and the third one. I love the mask ones, and I loved the lighthouse and the laughing jack. All that stuff was amazing, and that was the second and third book. But this one was still really good. It was all this one. So 2, 3, 4 in this series were miles ahead of 1. in my opinion, because I didn't care about the first one. Anyway, we'll get there. I'll talk about it next time. Until then, see you later.